Hello folks, Jason Chrisman, JC's Bees, your Central Ohio beekeeper. Today's video I want to talk about goldenrod and the goldenrod flow. I also want to talk about food stores and making sure you have plenty of them. So for the last couple of weeks I've seen many beekeepers share that their bees are working goldenrod. And if you look here behind me, you're going to see lots of goldenrod in bloom. It's everywhere. Nice lush goldenrod plants. Look at that. Look at that forage. Great last source of nectar right here. And there's lots of it down through here, as you can see. And we walk down through here, you're going to see a lot more. But what I want to talk about today is pretty much assuming that your bees have plenty to work. And really, they're starving. You see all this goldenrod here, and the reason I'm pointing that out is because the goldenrod flow is on the verge of beginning here for me in Central Ohio. I have seen bees working a few of the plants, and that kind of triggered me to think, you know what? I don't need to feed my bees right now. They've got plenty to work. If you look behind the goldenrod here, up there, those orange flowers, that's jewelweed. Bees also work those. So I made an inspection on a few of my nukes this week, and that taught me a lot. What I learned when I got into these nukes is that really the goldenrod, there isn't enough in bloom to sustain the colonies and keep them going with food and nectar coming in. I'm going to share a video here where I checked one of my stronger nukes. It's a 5/5 frame box set up. It's completely loaded with bees, and I want to share with you what I learned when I looked in there. Check this out. So about 2 hours ago, maybe 3 hours ago, I came over and went through a few of my nukes, added a couple second boxes to a few of them. These ones over here. And I need some deep frames, which I'm waiting to come from Amazon so I can get second boxes on the rest of them. But when I went through the ones I went through this morning, this one was one of them. The bees were very lethargic. They almost acted like they were coming out of torpor or going into torpor. Now, if you're not familiar with torpor, that's a form of hibernation that bees enter in the winter. Ladybug! Ladybug! You see Ladybug right down there, messing around. Ladybug, come on! Here she comes. And these bees, they acted very lethargic, almost like they were starving to death. Now, I didn't pull out any frames, but I do know that we are coming out of a dearth, at least hopefully coming out of it. I know this bee's working some goldenrod yesterday. But, you know, I thought maybe I better feed. So I ran to the store, got some sugar, came back, mixed it up, and I just went through and fed everybody. And I tell you, since I've fed all of the nukes, and I fed every one of them, I use frame feeders. And I tell you, within 20 minutes, this is the row I started in. And I went down through all these nukes. There's some back here, some back there. There's even another row clear in the back. But after I went through them all and come back up here where I started, I can't help but notice how energetic this colony is now. It's like that little bit of syrup just woke them up. Very strange. So I guess my recommendation is keep a close eye on your bees when you go from a dearth and you're waiting on the goldenrod to start. It's very easy to start seeing goldenrod and seeing a few bees on it and think, well, I don't need to feed. But in reality, there's really not enough goldenrod in bloom to support the bees. So in that case, we need to supplement and feed some sugar water, sugar syrup. And I'm glad I did. I don't want to lose any colonies this late in the year. All of them, a lot more active. jump around here. Now this one here is kind of unique. It's got an entrance here and back here, which they do use. A lot more active. I can't say it for sure, but I think a lot of these may have been on the verge of dying from starvation. There's bees in that box. There's not a whole lot of traffic there, but there is bees in it. So we'll see. But I thought it was rather interesting, and I wanted to share my findings with you today. So, what do you think? You been checking on your bees, or have you just assumed that they're working plenty of goldenrod and you don't need to feed? Well, let me tell you, you just seen I made that mistake. And if you get a chance today, you should check your girls and make sure they have plenty of food. A way that you could tell if they're working the goldenrod profusely is by looking at the pollen that's coming in. If you see a bright orange pollen on pretty much every bee coming in, then there's a pretty good chance your bees have a good nectar source. For me, the way it is plants like maybe this aren't bloomed out enough yet to attract the bees. And I don't know why that is. I don't have bee intuition. I don't think like a bee. I think like the beekeeper. I see these blooms and I think, hey, there's plenty to eat. But that isn't the case. And I've noticed that here in my area for the last several years. When I think I've got plenty of goldenrod in bloom, the bees just don't seem to touch it until it's all in bloom. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the variety of the goldenrod or if there's just something else that's drawing their attention. But there again, if I have to feed them, there must not be anything drawing their attention. So keep an eye on your bees, folks, this time of year. Don't assume they've got plenty of food. Another thing I'd like to talk about today is it's a good time to start preparing for yellow jackets, because they're going to be pestering your beehives before long, if they're not already. And wax moths, they're a major issue this time of year. So I'm going to link up here in the right hand corner, click on the information button, a window will pop down, a video on how to make a homemade yellow jacket trap that also attracts wax moths and bald-faced hornets. Make a few of these, hang them up around your beehives in your bee yard, and start trapping them, killing them off. It'll do a great duty for your honeybees, and they won't have to worry about battling them, at least not quite as bad. So check out the homemade trap, and like I said, you get a chance today, go in there and check out your colonies, make sure they have plenty of food, and if you're not in goldenrod flow yet, it's coming. It's coming. Trust me, it's coming. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. It taught you a little bit of something. And if it did, throw me a big thumbs up. That'll help boost it in the YouTube search ranks and make it easier for other beekeepers to find. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please take a minute to do so and make sure you click on the little bell so you get notified when I release new videos. Thanks for watching. JC's Bees, and we'll see you next week, folks.